It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Aristotle. So here's the thing. It is early in the morning, and our Timmy boy is sleeping. He is dreaming of his crush, Bubbles. His alarm at level 4 goes off, and quite so rudely interrupts his dream. He is then forced to move his arms to the right to turn the alarm off. He then has to push himself to roll out of bed. After successfully doing so, after a good 10 minutes, he has to say goodbye to the sweet comfort of his bed and his secret teddy bear to get up, go to the washroom, go out, eat breakfast, go back to the washroom again to take a shower, change from his comfy PJs to his daily uniform of t-shirt and jeans, and then gel his hair up to look like the slick guy he is. Then he has to pack his stuff, talk to his family about blah blah blah, and then head off. So, why does our Timmy boy have to do all this? Right, because our Timmy boy has to go to school. Our Timmy boy isn't the only one though. Every morning, in all different places in North America, herds of students, probably rudely interrupted from their dreams too, with bags upon their backs and books clutched close to their chests, enter a building like an army of ants to a place we all know as school. They spent approximately 7 to 8 hours in and around that place, following the daily cycles of class hours. Then they go home after those 7 to 8 hours, probably having to work on something relating to school for another couple of hours. This routine goes on every day for 5 days, every week for 10 months, and every year for an approximately 13 to 20 years. Yeah, they have a break every once in a while. We know. Spending nearly a quarter or third of their lives participating in this routine while using the time and energy they have. Comes the question,
what is the point behind it all? What is the point of school?
the simplest schoolboy is not familiar with truths for which Armides would have sacrificed his life. What do you think the point of school is?
I think the point of school is to get educated and learn new things.
I don't get why we have to go to school and then we have to get the marks and everything. That's kind of complicated. Because in our age and in our this province or whatever, we have to come to school and people my age won't be at work. Only the ones that dropped out. And also there's gossips, right? Brown people, brown men, there's gossip and stuff. So we have to
I see.
the facts.
What do you think the point of school is? It's useless. Okay. And so then why do you go to school if you think it's useless?
Because mom kicked me out of the house.
So, okay. And so then what motivates you to go to school then? Is it because of what your mom?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Well, school's not that bad. Well, it's alright. It depends on the teachers. Some teachers are so annoying. There's some teachers, some teachers don't know how to teach.
what do you think the point of school is?
Money.
Why do you go to school?
To get a job to get money.
And what motivates you to go to school?
To make my parents proud, to get a job to get money.
So that's it? It's about money? How did it even come to that?
Well, in order to answer that question, you need to know your history. Education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. Gilbert K. Chesterton.
Well, in early Canada during the 17th century, learning took place in family.
Children learned land cleaning and how to garden and spin from other family members.
It was basically an informal process. Skills and values were simply passed on from one generation to the next.
In the 19th and 18th century, the British government started looking to education as a way to promote the Protestant religion, the English language, and their customs.
So they assisted in building schools outside religious authorities.
While people who supported the establishment of schools, on the other hand, found mass schooling as a way to ingrain proper methods of thought and behavior into children.
In order to solve problems, from crime to poverty and idleness to vagrancies,
There were also various riots and uprisings in the mid-19th century, so community leaders really thought that school systems were needed in order to form the rising future generation of citizens.
In the 20th century, the development of merchant and industrial capitalism gave birth to thoughts of economic insecurity.
This made people aware that even though fortunes can be made, they can also be lost just as quickly.
This thought scared parents.
They started having fewer children and started investing in their education instead.
They did this so their kids could end up having jobs above the rest.
Today, it has become a formal institution.
This all resulted with concern about cultural, moral, and political behavior which merged from a wage labor economy.
So this is about our government wanting people to behave better so our country can be all sweet and spice and everything nice, and so that we can get jobs?
Not really. Just think about this. Right now you are under constant guidance, provision, and protection.
In other words, you are still dependent on other people to get along.
But we all know that sooner or later, you are going to get chucked into the world of independence.
A world where you have to pay for yourself, live by yourself.
Work for yourself, support yourself, and make decisions for yourself. So, where do you go to acquire the skills to do all these? Where do you go to make sure that you are at least somewhat prepared to go out there in the real world?
Where do you go to gain the knowledge you need to know in order to make informed decisions?
But how though?
Well, let's see what actually happens in school. For a start, you have to make yourself wake up in the morning, don't you? Because there's a certain time you have to get to at school, so you won't be late, right?
Isn't that the same thing later on in life when you have to wake up because you have to go to work so that you won't be late so your boss won't fire you?
Or imagine if bus drivers and pilots were late for the work all the time.
How many angry people would there be who will end up late for their work too?
You also have to work with people a lot during your school years.
Take joining a sports team or taking part in a dance performance, for example.
You learn how to work with people and collaborate with them so you will end up achieving something together.
While also learning how to be confident in what you're doing and carry on despite the spectators or how many people are in the audience.
Learning how to work in a team can benefit you a lot in the world. The building of the Hoover Dam, for example, took 200 engineers and 20,000 construction workers. None of it could have worked out in the end if it wasn't for their collaboration.
Or when you have to do a group presentation. By doing this, you learn how to do your part in a production or mission to create something in order to present it to others.
You take this with you when you decide to take the path of entrepreneurship, like Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, who had to present their products and ideas and talk to companies in order to sell them. Because of that, now we have the Apple products such as the iPods and iPads.
And how many projects and homeworks and assignments are we given in our entire high school life?
I'm not even gonna bother.
Well, we have to meet a certain due date for all of them, don't we?
Learning to be responsible with certain tasks we're given certainly makes our life easier.
This will help us pay our bills on time and not get charged extra for being late, and pay our rent so we won't get kicked out.
Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Did you know that there was a 14-year-old student in 1997 Idaho Falls who gathered petitions to ban DHMO, also known as dihydrogen monoxide? He gathered 43 votes out of 50 to ban the chemical. Little did anyone know that dihydrogen monoxide is just the name of water according to the rules of chemical nomenclature.
See, I learned that in chemistry so I wouldn't be fooled.
Exactly. It goes to show that paying attention in class can stop you from believing in false things.
Whatever it is, whether you realize it or not, you're still learning.
You always take something with you home, guaranteed.
In education, nothing works if the students don't.
School is like a place where you're getting handed tools.
Tools to help you with your future life.
Tools that you might need in order to do the job you plan to take on in the future.
tools to help you with your decisions.
I don't need to learn everything they teach me. Like, why do I need to know the quadratic formula or where Shakespeare was born?
That's true, but take this analogy.
You thought you had no use for that cardboard sitting in your kitchen cabinet, but you ended up using it for a project anyway.
Or that flashlight sitting on your garage shelf. You don't use it every day, but it can come pretty handy when a blackout comes.
It's like the things you learn in school. You think that you might not need it today or tomorrow.
Or never.
Or never, but it may come in handy someday in the future. And you get to decide what to do with them.
At least you have something better off than nothing.
But at the end of the day, we can have the most dedicated teachers, the most supportive parents, the best schools in the world, and none of it will make a difference. None of it will matter unless all of you fulfill your responsibilities. Unless you show up to those schools, unless you pay attention to those teachers, unless you listen to your parents and grandparents and other adults and put in the hard work it takes to succeed.
That's what I